One of my favorite organizations that I've been able to study is Target, one of the largest retailers in the United States. So, in my introductory remarks, I had mentioned how special of a place Target has in the DevOps enterprise community. Heather Mickman and Ross Clanton spoke at our first conference in 2014 and 2015, describing their journey to rebuild engineering excellence at an organization that had outsourced most of the technology function and their quest to unleash the creativity and problem solving potential of thousands of their technologists. So much of the Unicorn Project was inspired by the amazing stories that they shared. In 2018, a team from Target spoke about the continuation of that journey, talking about how they were rethinking the role of architecture and governance, again, to enable developers to be productive and to tap the vast expertise of the entire organization. One of those leaders who spoke was Luke Reddig, who was then a principal product owner. Now, he is a senior director of product management in merchandising capabilities. And when he told me earlier this year about what he's been up to, especially about the role that he played in the COVID response, I knew that this was something that this community needed to hear about. I am so delighted that he will be presenting with his former boss, Brett Craig, who used to be the senior vice president of merchandising capabilities. So he was a longtime executive in Target Technologies, so many were surprised by his move into this business leadership role. And as probably a testament to his successes, he is now SVP of Digital. I think their story is so incredible on so many different fronts and has so many lessons for not just technology leaders, but business leaders as well. So here's Brett and Luke.
Thanks, Gene, for that great introduction. And thank you all for letting us come and present to you. Brett and I are going to talk today about how really the DevOps mindset is really influencing Target's culture as a total business, not just within our IT and technology organization. So before we jump into that, I'm going to introduce Target. So Target is one of the largest retailers here in the United States. So we have over 350,000 team members, almost 2,000 stores, almost 50 distribution centers. And we really have had quite the run over the last several years. So our investment in a lot of our digital capabilities and our total business is really starting to shine through. So before we jump into the actual content, I wanted to introduce myself and give Brett a chance to introduce himself and really talk about how our organizational context and structure really helps facilitate relationships and the pieces that we're going to talk about later in this presentation. So I'm Luke Reddick. I lead product management for our merch capabilities team. So what we mean by merch capabilities, or my specific function, is I lead all the product technology around how we allocate space to our stores, how that shows up on the actual shelves, assortment and financial planning. So that's our kind of main function of what do we buy? Is that financially viable? Is that operationally viable? And then our insights and analytics folks. So all of the data and insights that fuels our merchandising capabilities. So I have a background in technology and engineering. So I'm a former technical product manager for some of our underlying data platforms. And I have background before that as well as an engineering manager and a developer kind of growing up in Target and a few other companies. So with that, I'll let Brett introduce himself.
Thanks, Lou. And thanks, Gene. And thank you to the DevOps community. It's really, really fun to be here. I have spent most of my career in tech roles, starting as a developer and working through different aspects of it. And one of the great privileges I've had is to work with Luke and a whole bunch of other people that are on this call today to actually think about the transformation of our tech business and the implementation of DevOps. I have had the chance to move into other roles beyond technology. I spent a few years working directly with Luke in merch capabilities, and I brought a lot of that experience with me. And that's part of what you're going to hear about today is our journey at Target, but also how we take the things that we've learned that were originally introduced in tech and use those to help influence how we want to be even better communicators, more agile, more nimble as an organization, to continue to drive value. More recently, I moved over to lead our digital business. And that is for me, it's a great bridge to bring back me a little bit closer to the technology roots that I grew up in over many decades. So I'm going to go back to call it circa 2015 and talk a little bit about where we were as a technology organization. At that point in time, we were struggling. To be candid, our spend as a rate of sales was too high. We had so many priorities that we were making so little progress on. And when on the rare occasion that we did in fact deliver a project, our delivery model was most reliant on third parties, and so we didn't actually retain the IP. And so this created morale challenges and stability challenges, and we were all just really rooted in just legacy ways of working. And so there was a recognition, and quite frankly, there was a few activists and visionaries that said there's a better way to go about this. And so some of the issues that we knew we needed to address were prioritization, were the skill set of the workforce to be more contemporary than what we were leveraging, including the makeup of the workforce and making sure that we had an engineering culture that helped reinforce the importance of bespoke development and building IP within the organization that would help us to grow. We needed to anchor better to architecture, and we need to move from project to product, embracing more agile principles and helping to delayer the organization. Along with that came with the necessity of actually loosening our risk posture, meaning that everything that we thought we needed to do, we really didn't need to do. But in doing so, it helped fuel prioritization, and it helped generate some conversations about what are the things that we